Yo, what is good, everybody? It is me, That One Weeb, here back with part 2 for What If Subaru was Sukuna's vessel. Now, if you guys have not seen the first part and are new to the channel, make sure to go up here to the top upper right hand corner, and there'll be a playlist with the entire series so far, that being only one part now. But you can watch that video and come back to this part and then catch up. Anyway, beneath there, you can see there's a like button down here and a little subscribe button. If you could hit that, that'd be greatly appreciated by me, and thank you so much. Anyway, let's just get into this video, part 2 of What If Subaru was Sukuna's vessel. Last time, Subaru and Sukuna had ran into a half-elf and her spirit, Puck. Subaru himself doesn't know her name yet, but we know it to be Amelia. Anyway, Subaru would offer this elf to assist her in her time of need to try and track down her insignia. Amelia would immediately deny, saying she couldn't possibly ask him to help her do something like that, since she hasn't done anything for him in return. Subaru would nod as she shakes his head, saying it's no problem at all, thinking in his mind that if he gets to help a cute girl out, then that's all that matters to him. Sukuna and Subaru's mental space would then call him pathetic, as Subaru would then say out loud telling him to shut up. Amelia would jump scared, asking what? As Subaru would say, no, apologies, as he explains that he sort of talks to himself. Amelia would think this guy's weird, but if he's offering to help, why not? Puck would already, as I mentioned, be able to sense the cursed energy inside of Subaru, and as I mentioned before last time, the spirits in ReZero are made of positive energy and natural energy, while the cursed energy in JuJutsu Kaisen, and now in ReZero's Earth, would be negative energy created by negative emotions and bad feelings. And so the two would pretty much contradict each other like a yin and yang of sorts. For reference, there didn't used to be manifestations of negative energy until Subaru entered the world of Sukuna. Sukuna's fingers, which are now strewn across the world of ReZero, have started collecting the negative emotions of the humans in this world, and ReZero's Earth is pretty chaotic. So the cursed spirits that are going to be created from this effect will be life-changing. But we'll get into the side effects of that a little later on. For now, we'll worry about how Subaru is going to find this half-elf's insignia. She would have already explained how it looked to him, so he has some idea of what he's looking for. But something that small in this massive city, he would have no idea. Well, let's just go look around, Subaru would say, as he would then begin walking, offering his hand to Amelia. Amelia would then look down at Subaru's hand, look back to Subaru, then back to his hand, and then just start walking away. Puck would laugh as he grabs his belly, laughing and rolling and floating throughout the air as Subaru tells him it's not that funny. Puck would then rub a tear from his eye, saying it's hilarious. Subaru would sigh before he then runs after Amelia, asking where she thinks they should look first. Amelia would say, well, let's just wander around, maybe we'll run into her. What? Subaru would think. That kind of mental thinking is, in this huge city, we're never gonna find it. Amelia would turn, saying if he thinks all negative like that, then of course they won't. Let's just try our best, Amelia would say, as Amelia and Subaru would then continue walking through the city. As they reached this terrace high above the ground, Subaru would then ask Amelia, asking this half-elf what her name is. Amelia would ponder for a minute, before she would decide to answer, saying that her name was Satella. Puck would be a little shocked from this, but he wouldn't let it show, wondering what she was doing. As Subaru and Amelia would walk around a little more, they'd eventually see a little girl wandering around in the streets, confused, holding her stuffed bear. As she wanders around, we could hear the small whispers of people around talking, as she'd be lost. Mom? She would say. Amelia would walk through the crowd, offering her hand to the little girl, who would look up to the strange lady. She'd begin to cry when Subaru would come up with an idea. Subaru would reach into his pocket and pull out a 5-yen coin, with ridges on it, a fancy type. As he would then go on his knees, now going to the same level as her, Amelia would wonder what she was going to do, since the little girl was crying and she didn't know how to console her. Hey, look here, Subaru would say. Want to see a magic trick? Subaru would use some cursed energy to focus it into his hands, as he would then hold the coin in midair and spin it around. Whoa, she'd think. Subaru would then let it drop as he then says, watch this. Subaru would hide the coin into his wrist as he would then pull his other hand around and grab the coin from behind her ear. She'd be shocked seeing this magic trick, as she claps again now, distracted by this. Amelia would say that's pretty impressive, wondering how Subaru had done that, but she wouldn't comment on it anymore. Subaru would offer his hand to the little girl who would take it, and he would ask her what her mom's name was and details about her. The little girl would talk to Subaru, and Amelia would be a bit annoyed by this, but she was just happy that she would actually acknowledge someone so they could try and find her parents. The two would decide to head towards the guard station, thinking that if they could at least drop her off there, then her parents would probably go looking for her there. As they would head towards the area, Subaru would think, as he says aloud to Amelia, that it looks like they're two newlyweds with their kid. I think you're more looking like an older brother, Amelia would say. Subaru would get shot down once again by Amelia's quippy remarks, and this would be when Sukuna would laugh his ass off inside of Subaru's stomach. He'd be laughing so hard that Subaru would tell him to shut up as he blushes. She's hilarious, Su-chan. She's perfect. She has the same sense of humor I do, torturing you. Sukuna would laugh his ass off more, as Subaru would just be a bit angry now, as he would then punch his own hand where Sukuna's mouth had been, appearing while it was laughing. "Did you hear laughing?" the little girl would ask, with Amelia also having heard it. Subaru would quickly hide his other hand, saying no, he had no idea what they were talking about. As they arrived at the guard station, they would find a grown woman with the same color hair as the girl they were with, as the little girl would run forward to her mom, screaming, "Mommy!" As she would then reach her, they would then embrace, as we would see the two be thanked by both the guards and the mother, saying that she had gotten lost and let go of her hand while they were in a crowd. Subaru would say it was no biggie as he wraps his hand behind his head. He would then give the coin to the little girl, saying she can hold on to it and keep it, who would thank him very much. He would say that's a one-of-a-kind coin, saying there's probably no other like it in this world. She'd be shocked if she decides to keep it. Subaru would then walk away with Amelia saying that was pretty nice of him. Subaru would nod before he realizes, wait a minute, this is not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be looking for your insignia. Amelia would nod, saying that a little bit of a good deed would help them though, because if we do something good now, maybe someone will help us out later. As she says this, Subaru would say she has a weird way of thinking, before she says maybe he's the weird one. Ever think of that? Subaru would ponder on this for a moment before deciding, nah, I think you're the weirdo. Amelia would scoff, as she says that's pretty rude. Subaru would laugh as he and Amelia would continue wandering around town. Eventually, just from talking to people in town, they would decide that this girl's probably from the slums, since she was pretty unique looking with blonde hair and a red scarf, and also having that wind ability. They'll have to check around there. Subaru would tell Amelia that they should be careful, since most slum folks would probably be pretty tight-knit. Amelia would nod, saying that they'll just have to ask nicely and see what happens. It was getting close to sundown now, and as the two would be heading towards the slums, they would be talking to a man who would be sitting on the side of the road, looking off into the distance. Have you, seen a little girl? Blonde hair, red scarf, moves pretty fast, good at stealing things? Subaru would ask. Sukuna would then whisper to Subaru, saying, that's a broad description. Shut up, Subaru would say. Sukuna would then say back. The man would reply, saying, oh, you mean Felt? Yeah, that Felt. That's probably her. She's probably at the loot house, and good luck buying it back. Loot house? He pointed his finger back as you see a large building on the hill in the distance. Alright then, Satella, shall we get going? Satella, aka Amelia, would nod, saying she's ready to go, as the two would then head towards the loot house. As it was getting late, Puck's timer would be about up, and Puck would tell Amelia as he yawns that he has to go sleep. With Puck disappearing as flakes, almost like snow, would accumulate, heading towards the crystal, they would then solidify as a faint glow would surround it, as Puck would then sleep, recovering his spiritual energy. Subaru would ask what happened to Puck, and Amelia would explain how the spirit arts work, saying that they need to rest, especially a great spirit like Puck, due to their contract in order to have energy. Subaru would then think inside his mental space, asking Sukuna, why don't you sleep like that? It would let me at least have a good time, and not have to hear what you're thinking all the time, every goddamn day. Sukuna would then laugh, saying he's a night owl, and telling Subaru that he'll never be rid of him. Subaru would laugh, saying hardy ha ha, yeah, I already know that by this point. Hey, Su-chan, you know who else will never sleep with you? Who? Subaru would ask. The girl! Sukuna would then begin laughing, telling Subaru, isn't that a funny joke? Subaru would tell Sukuna to shut up as he feels tears running down his face. Damn it, he always knows what hurts the most. Anyhow, Amelia would then begin to use her spiritual contact, as she would talk to the spirits around the air, asking about the question, looking to see if they had seen anyone like Felt in this area. They would have told Amelia everything they'd known, and she would also have now contacted them and done the prayer. Subaru would have been mesmerized seeing Amelia doing this, and I would have been immensely interested, asking what it was. Amelia would blush for a second, saying it wasn't anything that special. And she would turn, huffing as she decides, let's just go and get my insignia back. Yeah, right, Subaru would say as he scratches his cheek. As Subaru would knock on the heavy wooden door, there'd be no answer, as it would be slightly cracked open. Should we just go in? Amelia would ask. Subaru would nod, saying, I guess that's the best answer, as Subaru would gently push the door open with a squeak being heard. It was dark, and Subaru couldn't see anything, but the moment he took one step inside the building, he could feel something on his shoe. He could feel something wet and thick like mud. No, as Subaru reached down and touched his shoe, he would look up, holding his hand in the moonlight, and he would see his hand covered in a thick red blood. Subaru would have flashbacks of his friend being eaten by that monster. Damn, we were too late, he would think. Inside the building, we would hear the metal clanging against metal, as we can see Felt fighting for her life against someone. This someone would be Elsa, as you would see the dark purple blade with black, and the cloak covering her. As she would turn, licking her lips, about to finish off the last one of Felt's legs would have been cut off, as Felt was bleeding badly and was already on the doorstep of death. I won't let you have killed Grandpa Ron in vain, she would say. Oh, shut up, Elsa would say. Subaru would then run in, telling her to get away from that girl. Amelia would immediately begin to attack from long range, asking Subaru if he'll be alright. I'll be fine. Subaru would pound his fist into his hand, as we can see blue energy covering it, as Subaru summons some cursed energy. Elsa would lick her lips as she says she can't wait to see what his intestines look like, as she is the bowel hunter after all. She would disappear into the darkness, but Subaru would be able to sense her with his keen senses. Sukuna would watch and wait, seeing what's going to happen, as suddenly she would appear behind, about to jab Subaru in the back. Subaru's upped senses from using cursed energy would take effect, as Subaru turns around, blocking the blow and grabbing the knife with his hand, as he would get a cut across his palm, barely able to use the pressure in his fingers and the cursed energy to hold the blade back. Satella, do it now! Amelia would release a bombardment of ice attacks, but they'd be much weaker than when she has Puck out. Elsa would simply reveal her second blade as she slices the ice in half, easily able to predict the movements of it. She's good, Amelia would think. Something in the shop would catch Sukuna's interest as he can sense it. There's something here that he wants. Sukuna would tell Subaru, come on, let me take over your body, I'll take care of this wench easily. No, I can do this, Subaru would say. Subaru with his other hand would throw a punch at Elsa, punching her in the gut with cursed energy. She would cough, not having felt so much damage from just a normal attack in so long, since she can't sense cursed energy. As she gets sent flying back, she would pull the blade out of Subaru's hand, slicing off one of Subaru's fingers. Gah! Subaru would grab his thumb with his other hand. That really hurts! Elsa would laugh, licking the blood off her blade, as Amelia would try to throw more attacks, but they wouldn't be hitting, as Elsa would then begin to turn her focus on Amelia, deciding to take out the long-range fighter first. Do it, Subaru would say. Subaru would swap with Sukuna, who also wouldn't be wanting Amelia to die as of yet. As he moves forward, Sukuna not having control of Subaru's body would be more than a match for Elsa, as Elsa tries to bring down the attack on Amelia's head, slicing her from the top all the way through to her belly. With Sukuna now jumping in front of the way, moving faster than Elsa could even react, he'd grab her blade with his hand as his thumb would begin to heal. I'm a little busy right now, there's something that I want to get taken care of, Sukuna would say to Elsa. Elsa would feel fear, as this man who before hadn't seemed at all a threat was now giving her immense danger warning signs. I can't win, her instincts would be telling her. I have to escape, but I still don't have that insignia. Can I? Too slow, Sukuna would say, as he would rip his hand directly through Elsa's heart, ripping it from her chest as he squeezes it, crushing it. Elsa would gasp, not having even seen the attack, as she falls over, deciding this is the best course of action. She needs to pretend to be dead for now. Amelia would be shocked seeing this change in power and ability, and his voice. Who is this? His hair even changed, and what happened? Amelia would have no idea what happened to Subaru, but this would be when Sukuna would turn, saying that, for the record, this is under my win. Sukuna, not Subaru, just so you know. Sukuna would turn around, squeezing his hands and thinking he hadn't felt this body in for a couple of years. Not for much longer, though, he'd think. Once I have acquired more power, I'll be able to easily take this kid out, and then he'll be the one stuck behind bars. Sukuna would walk forward, and there by the bar, where Grandpa Ron would have had all of his items from the loot house, we would see a small box with wrappings around it that he obviously wouldn't have been able to open. And there's my cue. Sukuna would grab the box, use curse energy, unsealing it, opening the box. 2 down, 18 more to go. Down the hatch. He would take his hand as he opens the mouth on it, and then devours the finger, feeling himself power up. Ooh, that feels good. Sukuna and Subaru's voice would echo with each other, as Subaru would begin to take control over again. Fine for now, fine for now. I'll be back next time, and next time I might not even let you keep it. This would be when Sukuna would laugh as Subaru switches back in. Amelia would be shocked, asking what happened, what was that? Subaru would turn around feeling a bit weakened as he looks at his hand and feels at his thumb's back. Well, that was nice of him, you'd think. Sukuna never does things like that. Something must have happened. Wait, what happened to the... As Subaru would look down the ground where he would thought that Elsa's body would have been, the Bowel Hunter would have been gone, taking the moment of opportunity that Sukuna had left when he was distracted by the finger to escape. Subaru would feel his cursed energy had increased as he wonders if something might have happened. He then remembers the finger that had caused us all to begin with. There must have been one here. That's the only reason he helped me, he thinks. That must have been why. Felt to be on the ground, as he would have nothing he could really do for her. Felt to be now passing fast, but there was something they had to do. Satella, do you think we can make it? Immediately before Subaru had even finished his sentence, Emilia would have her in her arms as she used ice on the wound to cover the now ripped off half leg. We have to hurry. She lost so much blood, Emilia would say. We have to run. If we hurry, we might be able to get her healed, or at least let her live, she would say. But Satella, are you sure we can... Stop calling me that, by the way, she'd say. But what? Subaru would be confused, asking what he did wrong. Oh, yeah, I kind of gave you a fake name since you seemed kind of suspicious. What? Subaru would say. Sukuna would laugh, knowing the entire time that she was lying, since she wasn't a very good liar to begin with. Wondering what her real name actually was. Then what is your real name? Subaru would ask for him. Good one, Suchan. I'm interested too. As they're running, Amelia would tell Subaru that her name was actually Amelia. Amelia, huh? Subaru would say. Yeah, that fits you 1,000,000 times better, he would say, smiling and closing his eyes. Before running into a pole. Subaru, catch back up, Amelia would say, as Subaru would then slam his head into the wood and touch his forehead before running after Amelia, saying, Amelia, wait up! Amelia and Subaru would make it to the guard's house with both of them gasping for air, as it'd be late at night with them wondering what's going on. Amelia would felt onto the actual office table with blood still now coming out of her. She's gravely injured. Is there any way we can... Felix would actually be at the guard station at this time, luckily enough, and Felix would say that he'll take care of it, with now Amelia thanking him. Felt to be taken away, and this would be when Reinhardt, who had also been at the guard station after finishing his rounds, would see the little girl. Before she goes, there's something she has on her, though, Amelia would say. It's my insignia. If I could have that, that'd be really appreciated, she would say. Reinhardt, who happened to be at the guard station after finishing his rounds, would find the insignia actually in her pocket, and it would be glowing. This girl is... Hurry. We need to try and get her patched up as good as new, Reinhardt would say. I'll even help if I can. He would toss Amelia her insignia, saying to keep better watch of that next time. With Amelia saying she hadn't lost it, she was letting her borrow it for something. Reinhardt would raise an eyebrow with his now divine protection of lies, but would say, all right. Amelia would laugh while scratching her cheek just a little bit, as she would then ask Subaru what he's going to do. Subaru, who had been injured but was fine now, said he didn't really have anywhere to go. Amelia, knowing what Subaru had done to try and help her and give her her insignia back, which she really desperately needed in order to be in the royal selection, she would come to a decision. My benefactor, Roswell, he's an owner of an estate. If you want, you can come back with me and we can talk to him and see if he has any options for you. Oh, that'd be very appreciated, Subaru would say, clasping his hands together, thanking Amelia. You don't have to go on the ground on your knees like that, Amelia would say, sweating. Alright, let's get going. It's a little ways away from here, but if we leave now, we'll be making it there by morning. And thus, Subaru and Amelia would then head towards Roswell's mansion. If you guys want to see the next part for What If Subaru was Sukuna's vessel, make sure to slap that like button, comment down below what you think of the video, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this and other What Ifs and anime content from me. If you guys have not already, please make sure to go check out my second channel and my Twitch, which I have links for in the description. And thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.